YouTubers, thank you for clicking or tapping on this video. In this episode of Microshop, we'll be making a leather dog collar. This is a really cool looking collar for a large breed dog, and my husky dog, has been wearing one like this for a couple months, and it's very solid, very durable. And anyway, I hope that you'll follow along. Keep watching here on this episode of Microshop. Alrighty, well, as we get started on our project here, I'll just show you some of the hardware that we'll be using for this dog collar. First of all, we've got a 1 1/4 inch roller buckle here, really solid, very nice buckle. And then this is a 1 1/2 inch solid ring here, solid metal. It's been welded right there, so it's just a really solid, be a very good piece of hardware. And finally here, just this little strap keeper metal here to keep the collar from just the end of the collar from flapping around, and to keep it tight on the dog. So also we have here, since I've made a couple of these and sold a couple of these collars, I have some templates here. So these make it very easy to use, just some templates that I designed myself, and just made them work really well. They work well for this collar, since I generally make the same size collar for a larger breed dog. And then today we'll be using some buffalo hide here. This is pre-dyed buffalo hide, 1 1/4 inch. Just got this from Tandy, so it just makes it an easier, simple way to do it instead of having to dye the leather. And this is just some nice durable hide. Well, let's move on to look at a couple of the tools we'll be using. I'll be probably using the round knife here just a little bit to cut the leather. We'll also probably use this knife here, to a nice little trim knife to trim some of the edges a little smoother. This is a edge beveler, I believe it's a number 2, and we'll just be using that to bevel the edges to make them have a nice clean look. And then I'll probably do just a little groove along the edge here, just gives it a nice look for the finished collar. And then of course we'll be using a hole punch, just a basic rotary hole punch, and that will be used just to punch the holes in. And we'll be holding it all together with, forgot to get these out here, but let me get these off the shelf. We'll be holding it all together with some silver rivets, as you can see right here. So we'll be holding that together. It's a really solid collar. I've been using this, my husky dog has been using this collar for quite a while now, and very solid. So anyway, let us get started with some measuring and cutting of our leather strap here. One of the first things I'll do here is use this strap end punch here to punch out the end of the strap, just to get the nice look like this, as you can see here, just for the end of the collar there. So this is a totally cheap Chinese-made punch, and it doesn't work very well, but at least gives me a nice starting point. And then I use my knife to trim it off. So anyway, we'll get this started. Okay, so I'm just putting the template on here, and just getting my piece all set. And then I'm going to take just my round knife here and do a quick cut across there. Okay, there we have our first piece of the collar. Then I'm going to get the second piece of the collar here and put that on the leather here, and measure that up, get it just right, and slice that as well. I can get this out of the way. My bench is not really a leatherworking bench. not lots of space, but it works. Okay, and there is our next piece of the collar. So next we will put the template back on, and we'll begin marking the holes. And these different groups of holes here are for the rivets as they go, and the ring goes around there. So anyway, begin marking those holes here now. And get the other side marked off here. Now to the second piece of our collar. So for the final set of holes here, I don't have the special punch that is used for this, so I just put 2 holes, one on the end, one on each end, and then I just cut the rest of the groove out there. So, and there we have it. Our strap is cut. All of our holes are done. All of our holes are punched, and so now I'm just going to do just a little bit of edge beveling, and just nice, kind of rounds off the edges a little bit, so it looks quite a bit better. Well, we are near the end of the project here, and now it is time to get the rivets and use the rivets here. I suppose this could be stitched here if you wanted to just do a stitching there. If you didn't have rivets or rivet setters, stitching would work fine, and stitching is very strong. I use 4 rivets on each of these ends here, just because these collars are intended for a large breed dog, such as the dog that I have, which is a husky, and so I really wanted it to be very solid. So you wouldn't have to use 2 or 4 rivets. You could probably just get away with 2 if it's a smaller breed of dog, but just to be safe, I use 4 rivets on each of these joints here. So anyway, now is the time to begin setting the rivets for this dog collar. I don't have any fancy press to press on these rivets, so I just use this handy little hand setter. It's got this little base anvil here that's concave, and works really well just for the rivets in there. And I just put it on my little anvil here on my bench vise, and then just stick the piece in there and give it some solid taps, and it will set the rivet. So we'll start off here with this first one and move on through. Okay, first one there. Always double check, see if it's solid. Looks like it's set in pretty good. I might give it just one more tap here, and I'll tap it from the top side here. You want to give it a firm tap. It's not a light tap at all. You got to set it in there well. Okay. I think that's set good there. Okay, moving on to the next one here. I decided to jump in here and just show how the buckle goes on here. And you just kind of stick it on like this, stick it through, and you have your piece that folds back like that. And that, as you can see there, that's why that little groove there is long enough just for the little center part of the buckle there to be able to have room to move. So anyway, that's how that works. And so now I'm just going to put these 4 rivets in right here. And now we come to the final rivet. The final rivet on the collar here. And here we have the finished dog collar right here. So works really well. There's five different holes depending on the size of the animal's neck, and you just use this for the leash or the chain, whatever, if they're tied outside. This is the piece that is used then to attach that to the dog to the chain or the leash. And so anyway, I think it turned out really well. Pretty happy with it. And one piece you have to not forget is the strap keeper here, and it's got to go between those 2 sets of rivets there on the buckle end, and that way when you stick the buckle in like this, you put it in the hole, you've got the nice little metal piece there to keep this loose strap from flopping around or something like that. So anyway, here is the finished dog collar. Alright, well, hope you enjoyed that project. I enjoyed making the collar along with you. Please comment, please like, subscribe, and hope that this video has been helpful to you. Thanks again, have a great day.